Hi friends, welcome back to Nessa's Nook. So today I'm going to make something I have made, but I did make it in the Ninja Possible, not the Instapot Rio, which I'm going to be doing. I didn't really have a name for it, but the garlic Parmesan Sweet Baby Ray's, this is really good. And I don't know for sure if you guys read in a comment, or not for sure if I mentioned it or whatever, but I had bought a brand new upright freezer back in October. Well, a couple weeks back, we went to go get a little bit of ice cream. It was left in the thing, and Mark realized that everything had thawed out. Now I had already paid like about $700 for the freezer, and then I had all sorts of meals because I do the meal preps and stuff. We actually unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it is still working, but they're going to come over with a control board on Wednesday. So I'm still trying to get a hold of the company to see what they would do, because they're not going to cover their product going bad, which is a Frigidaire, by the way. They're not going to cover the product with the food going bad, which I lost well over $500. When we froze that, because we didn't have time to deal with the stuff that was in there, and I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it. So when we turned it back on, everything refroze so it didn't stink up everything. We had, I think Mark counted this morning, 37 containers that had his lunches in it. Plus, we had another 13 containers that had odds and ends, different type of meals. So, there was close to 50 plus meals, plus meat, plus vegetables, plus ice cream, plus, everything. So, I'm kind of upset about that. So, Mark's brother is coming over today, and he's never had this. And what I want to start doing is, when I start making things that I know Mark will like for his lunches, then I'm going to go ahead and just start going ahead and, making the regular meal, and then the other meals will go in the freezer. And then he'll use the Hot Logic to eat them for lunch. And if you guys don't realize, there's two Hot Logic things going on. One's on the 8th is going to be giving away a Hot Logic Mini. I can kind of put that down below. And then there's another one for the family size when I get to 7,000 subscribers that will be given away. However, if you always look in my pinned messages, there is actually a link to save money to actually physically go and buy them straight from Hot Logic. I keep forgetting to tell you guys that. I don't know why. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Rio today. I really love this Rio. I love that it's stainless steel. You guys, anybody that's stayed with me long enough knows I absolutely adore stainless steel. For me, it cleans very easily with a little bit of, you soak it, you scrub it, and it comes right clean. So, the only thing I don't care for as far as the Rio so far, there is no extra interpot. Every one of my Instant Pots I have an extra liner for. Even though I have extra Instant Pots, it doesn't mean I want to always drag those out when I can just throw a new, inside, the inside liner. So, I have, they don't have a lid for it like I do the 6 quarts. So I'm going to go ahead and use, I don't know for sure if you can see it. It's sitting over there on my counter. And this is what I bought to use for my cast iron pan. So that works. But there's also not, right now, there's not an extra ring, for the silicone for when you actually, when you pressure cook. So that's one bad thing. I mean, but it is new. I'm sure it's going to eventually come out. But so far, I absolutely love this Rio. Thank you, Robert, for suggesting I did buy it. I really do like it because it's actually big enough. It feels like I'm cooking it in a fry pan instead of everything's small in the 6 quart. It just spreads everything out nicer. Even if it's just meals for just Mark and I, it spreads it out, and I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring it down here. And normally, no, I do not cook like this. I see a lot of channels doing this, and I just have to get over my stuff. I have 2 little pieces down here from an old bag. I'm just going to go ahead and stick in the whole 2.5 pounds of meat. Because like I said, his brother's coming, and that way we can have some for the freezer and everything else too. Let me wash my hands real quick. right, and then what I'm going to be doing is tossing a little bit of my garlic and onion powder over top of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some salt and pepper. Now what I mean, I don't normally cook like this. I don't dump, let me go ahead and raise this up so you can physically see in here a little bit better. I don't usually just dump like the cream cheese on here. Oops. And I don't just dump the soup in. I'm one of those people who I like to go ahead and mix everything nicely together before I put in my main part of the meal. Now this is, like I said, this is going to be a double batch where you're only usually using a half a jar of the Sweet Baby Ray's, and you're only using one of the cream cheese, and then only the regular size of cream of chicken soup. So I'm going to go ahead and toss that in here. Hopefully that will, yeah, pretty much all came out pretty good. And then I'm going to be going ahead and doing is a full jar of that Sweet Baby Ray's. Now, if you guys, like me, obviously I've been living underneath the rock for I don't know how long. Sweet Baby Ray's have come out with a whole bunch of different flavors. So I don't know for sure if you know this. I mean, there's not all of it's barbecue sauce. Some of it is. I bought some of it just to go ahead and try it, and I really like it. So, you know, there's other flavors that I've been doing, and I might, at the end of this, I might end up doing more of the Sweet Baby Ray's, but I will find out. I'll go ahead and put this one upside down to get the rest of that put in here. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and just use the lid that I have and move this over. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit slow cook. Now I want this to be probably at least 4 hours. And I want this to be on, I'm going to go ahead and put this on high, and then you go ahead and hit start. So one thing I like about any of these like crock pot meals, the Instant Pot meals, you pretty much, you set it and you just walk away, and that's my type of cooking because I'm incredibly lazy. But this makes it really nice. I will try to, when I come out here and stir this up a little bit once the cream cheese melts a little bit so you can kind of see what that's looking like in between. And one thing I like about this lid is it is glass and you can actually physically see in like you can a real crock pot, so that makes it super nice. So I'll bring you back, and I don't know for sure if I'm going to do potatoes, rice, or pasta. That's still, I'm trying to figure out from the guys what they might want. And we'll figure out what we want to have underneath this and what kind of vegetable we want to have. And I'll bring you back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stir this up a little bit more. And this has been done for a while. I'll make sure double check on some of the bigger pieces. And there is quite a bit enough gravy because we are going to do the instant potatoes because that's what I thought would taste best. And I wanted to have some extra gravy for the lunch meals. So go ahead and throw this into one of the biggest pieces. Pretty sure this was, yeah, definitely, it's definitely done. So I can go ahead and shut this off. And I am going to go ahead and make up some instant potatoes and I believe a can of corn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the roasted garlic instant potatoes. The corn is actually on the stovetop there. And I thought the roasted garlic would go good with having the garlic actually in the chicken. So that should work out pretty nice. And all I gotta do is just mix up the potatoes here and get those going. And those are thickening up really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and stir up that corn, and we'll get this plated up and we'll show you what dinner's looking like. Alright, so everything is done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a piece of chicken. I don't want the biggest piece. I always like the smaller pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some corn on my plate. And get some of the potatoes. I made extra potatoes for the stuff that's going to maybe go in the freezer. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take some of the sauce. So that's one thing I don't like about doing it that way. You still see lumps of the cream of the stuff, but it makes a pretty good dinner still. So this right here is that garlic Parmesan sweet baby Ray's with some instant potatoes and some corn, which will make a nice little dinner. Let me know if you've ever made this before, and if you've ever made this actually like in your crock pot or your Instapot Rio or anything like that. And thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you have a very blessed and wonderful day.